If you are a coach or a consultant needing to access over $100,000 plus for your business so you can scale ads or invest to your systems, watch this entire video. I'm going to be talking about some stuff that I went through, right? Even some mistakes that I made, and a lot of mistakes that I see y'all coaches and consultants make whenever you're trying to go get business money. Watch this video. You're going to save yourself thousands upon hours of not going through the mistakes that I made, and actually understanding what these banks are looking for to access funding in 2026. Now, if you guys don't know me already, my name is Daniel Dixon Jr., and I help coaches and consultants access working capital so they can scale and invest in the business. If you haven't already, go and click the subscribe button below so you get notified whenever I post, and you get notified when I'm dropping these gems and sauce for y'all. It's going to be a different type of video today. I'm in my car. It's late at night. You know what I'm saying? I just decided to make this quick video really quick. But let's get real here, right? Let's talk about some business funding. I haven't made a video in quite some time. We've been doing a lot of stuff, in the back end, optimize our client's profile, getting a lot of results ready. We're gonna have a big May, a big June, big July. Next 2 months is gonna be lit. Invest to new systems, everything. So what I want to talk about when it comes to access and business funding, you have to understand that business funding is not the same that it was 5-6 years ago. Hell, not even a year ago. Okay, things are constantly changing. You have to understand that banks, they do quarterly, they do monthly, they do weekly reviews, right? Depending on, hey, maybe we overlent this month, or hey, maybe we underlent this month, so we have to change the data points. So before you go get funding, you have, as a coach or consultant, you have to understand that the information that you might watching from like a YouTube video or like a free course or like a school community that you got from 6 months ago, hell, even 4 months ago, it may not work today because data points are always changing. And I understand as a coach or consultant, okay, I'm a consultant myself, so I understand what y'all going through, right? Needing to access to funding, okay, whether that's to scale ads. Maybe you're watching another mentor on YouTube or Instagram. You're like, okay, I definitely want to invest to the services because, if I invest here, I'm going to get better at sales, or I'm going to hire a done for you agency, or you're just going to hire people. I understand that you're a coach or consultant, you sell high ticket, and you understand everything, any service that you want is going to be high ticket. So getting access to this business funding is going to allow you to invest in those services, the high ticket services, right, with low interest or with without using your own money. That's why we go to the banks. That's why we get access to capital. Okay. And if you're not doing that right, you're taking out your cash reserves where you're not making any profit. It's just like all the money that you make, you can't even keep none of it. Now it's going to go straight back into these systems. And that's why you'd rather use credit. Okay, whether that's a 0% business credit card, whether that's a line of credit, or any other types of products if you could show the financials and stuff. But you have to understand, the way to get funding in 2026 is way different than it was in 2025. Like you can't just use the data points or use the metrics that you learned 6 months ago. It's way different in 2025, and that is like the one thing that you have to understand. I just want to make this quick video about that. Okay, the amount of times where I've tried funding a client. Okay, I don't even talk about some of my mistakes, right? This cost me a lot of money, right? When I first started the business, right, I was taking on clients, and I got some data that was like a year, 2 years old. Right. And then when I was trying to fund clients, that information just does not work. Why does it not work, Danny? The reason why it does not work is because, again, banks are always changing. Okay, what worked 3 or 4 months ago may not work today. The information that I put out on YouTube maybe a year, maybe 6 months ago may not work today. Okay, now the framework of everything is still the same, but the actual data points, it does not work. It strictly does not work. You will only know this unless you're actually in the field testing, right? If you don't have the field testing, if you don't have a network where you're actually getting this information, okay, none of that stuff is going to work. You're gonna literally cost yourself so much time and money trying to figure this out yourself. Okay, if you go watch our testimonials, okay, we've gotten a lot of testimonials. We've gotten a lot of people funding because we're actually in the field. We're doing what actually works. Okay, the amount of times where I've tried to, like I said, fund, and I'm just like, why is this information not working, right? Frustrated clients, pissed off. Okay, as a consultant, yes, I've went through this stuff. Okay, this is just me being vulnerable on YouTube, just to let you know that the information just does not work. Okay, we've invested ourselves. We got better systems, right? We got the data points, right? We funded a lot of clients, right? We had some great wins recently. Okay, you actually have to be in the fields. Okay, this actually goes to my point of like my thing, right? We have a lot of clients like where now it's just like I'm asking for certain stuff, and the reason why I'm asking for certain stuff is because whenever I try to get funding myself, right, I got access to over $150,000 for funding, and one of the reasons why I kept getting denied funding was strictly because my business was incongruent on the business bureaus. Right, my experience, they had me listed as construction, and I kept in the first 2 banks that I applied to, I kept getting denied until I finally fixed it. Right, that's how I was able to access $150,000 of funding. Okay, it was just that small tweak right there. And it's like, if you're going through funding, you don't actually check these little things. Yes, depending on which product that you get, and depending on which institution that you go to, which they also change very frequently. If you're not updated on this information, you don't know exactly what to do, you're going to cost yourself over $100,000 in funding for your business, which inherently, if you're making $10,000 or $20,000 per month right now, and you know if you got access to the funding, you can go to $50,000 per month, that's a $40,000 jump, and you take that course over 12 months, you just cost your business $480,000 because you don't know exactly what the fuck you're doing. Okay, this is coming from experience, and yes, I'm being direct, I'm being vocal, but the information that just does not work, the information just simply does not work. It's constantly changing. Okay, that is the main thing that I want to tell you in this video, is that if you do not know what you're doing, you're better off hiring a funding company that actually knows what they're doing, that's going to sit down and actually structure your personal credit. It's going to structure your business. So now we go to the banks, okay, instead of you just walk to the banks like, dang, I don't know if I'm going to get funding, right? The banks are really going to qualify to you. Right now, you're going to be asking them, how much money can y'all give me? Okay, and if they don't want to do that, right, you just go to the next bank. That's the mindset. That's the confidence. That's the confidence that you have when you're properly structured on the business and when you're properly structured on the personal side, right? So I just want to make that quick video today because it was just on my heart to make that video. If you're watching this, you're on the verge of getting funding, you understand that, hey, I definitely want to get the funding, but understand that the information just does not work. I've tested this myself. I understand what works. I understand what does not work. And we're constantly still learning, right? I'm constantly still in the field. I'm constantly still testing things out, right? And we have a lot of great results going to be happening here pretty soon, which I'm very excited about. Okay, like I said, I understand. That's kind of what we do, is that when you come work with me, you come work with our team, first thing that we do is that we optimize your personal credit, and then we optimize your business profile. Those 2 things are the most important things. Doesn't matter if you have a 700 plus credit score, doesn't matter if you make $50,000 a month. And I know it's a high ticket coach, okay, you're doing big numbers, but when it comes down to funding, the banks don't care just about you doing big numbers, or you're an influencer, you're bringing on this amount of clients. They're worried about, okay, from this person, what can we find to make sure that we mitigate our risk, and what can we find to make sure that they hit all these metrics to where we can confidently and safely feel trusting to lend to this person. And if you give off enough green signals, you're great. But if you show any type of red signal, especially because as a coach and consultant, you have to understand that most people, when they create an LLC, they're just going to create the consulting. So the banks are now flagging just the basic consulting business, especially if you're using a virtual office address. If you don't have a legit business, you're trying to go get funding, you don't know the exact description of your business, or if you can't articulate to the bank exactly what you do, you're just going to get flagged as high risk, even though consulting is listed as a low risk business. Okay, so trust me when I'm telling you this stuff. I battle tested it. I've gone through some things, and understand that the stuff that you may think works, if you join a school community, if you just try to get some free information, if you try to Reddit it, hell, if you try to ChatGPT or Claude it, they don't have the real information. That the banks are not giving out information like that. Okay, you're better off working with somebody that actually knows what they're doing, right? Paying the expert, okay, and then now you're paying the expert, you're going to be buying back your time. You're going to get the funding and buy back your time. With the funding that you get, you know damn well what you're going to do when you get access to the funding. Okay, whether that's hiring to the team, marketing, systems, whatever that it is, as a high ticket coach or consulting, you understand that you need to invest in the business. And if you want the business to grow, you understand that you have to constantly invest it. Why not invest it with the capital that you can get access to at low interest, right? Instead of having to worry about a merchant cash advance or a high interest predator loan, why not get access to it why not access it with somebody that knows exactly what you need it for, where you're going to allocate it, and actually give it to you in the time frame that you need it versus trying to figure out yourself. That was the entire point of this video. I just want to get this out there. If you haven't already, go and click the subscribe button, right? And go and click the like button too. It helps us reach the algorithm, helps us reach more coaches and consultants out there that are looking to access capital to scale and invest in the business, right? And if you, as a coach and consultant watching this, you want my help to access the working capital, right? Where we're going to help you optimize your profile, structure your business so you can get access to the funds and allocate it to the systems that you need to do. I want you to click the link below, book a call so you can speak with me. We'll go over exactly, what's going on, find the biggest constraint, and then develop a game plan so you can access the working capital and get to the next level. With that being said, right, go and click the subscribe button, hit the like button too, and I'm going to see y'all in the next video.